Hi there, welcome to your reading. Today we are looking into the topic of your inner calling and thinking of them as a voice coming through to speak to you about what you need to know about it now. We'll be getting information about action steps to take as well as generalized guidance around the situation. Each reading will contain an energy check at the start that will help you identify whether this is the correct pile for you. Please check out other readings in this video before you click out of the video entirely if you find that your first pile does not seem like a good fit. Otherwise, there are multiple videos on this channel that may help answer your questions as well. So, there are 3 piles to choose from. Starting on the left side, we have pile 1. Your crystal is the fish, and your card is Universe. We are all just stardust. Pile number 2, your crystal is the serpent, and your card is Clover, release your guilt. And pile number 3, your crystal is the mushroom, and your card is Princess, you can be your own knight. Okay, so when you are ready with your pile or piles, head to the description and you can find the timestamp that will take you directly to your reading, and I will meet you there. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. Let's jump right into your inner calling messages, what they want to come through and speak to you about today. We will start with an energy check that will give us the idea of what this is feeling like and looking like, and that way you can know whether this is something you are aware of at all or if it feels fitting for you, and this is how you know that you are in the right pile. Again, check out other piles in the reading if this one does not feel like the right fit. So these are the oracle that I have chosen as I shuffled previously for you guys. Let's go ahead and reveal these as the energy check. Your inner calling, we have the cave. We have the tattoo fairy. And we have quickening with discovery, acceleration, knowledge, and source. So the cave and the universe coming together to start here with the messages, really giving this, of course, like a cosmic idea to it, something that I think is at once expanding and is also contained at the moment within a cave, is a more of a closed off light perhaps in a cave, or is contained within the palms of your hand at this point. So I think it really could be something maybe you were not aware of that has yet to be called to the surface, or otherwise it is something you are aware of and possibly newly kind of coming to terms with and discovering what you really want to be here doing, or what you have been sent here to do, one or the other. And it's something that you are grasping at this point for some of you, the newness of it with 31, and have yet to know what to do with it, I think. The Tattoo Fairy, it is a story that has been written for you. I think I'm getting that message now. It is something that has been imprinted on you. And I said something just now about, is it something you're realizing you want to do? Or is it something you realize you've been set up to do? Which I think a lot of the times both of those go hand in hand, but I think that the difference between realizing I've always been interested in this topic, let me study it, let me become an expert in this area, that is a strike of inspiration of let me go and try this, I'm interested in this. Otherwise, the opposite would be being put in a position where you are provided with a certain educational path, something that is more so pushing you down a path, and of course the outcome is what you need, what is meant for you, regardless of what it is technically what you want or what you could have pictured for yourself. So all of these things, and it really is about the discovery I'm seeing at this point with quickening, things quickening up I think this is coming to the light if it hasn't already been identified by you. This true inner calling that you understand at this point, or you need more clarity. But the tattoo fairy was giving me the message that it is imprinted on you and it's part of you. Quickening, of course, it's coming to the surface. The source is being identified. It is a discovery happening now. It's all at the beginning. Okay, so let's go on with some tarot cards so that we can clarify this energy check before we get into the bulk of the messages. So let's also ask, this is a really great idea to start. Can we get more information to clarify this for the group for pile 1? Wow. We have Knight of Swords confirming like the quickening of it and the speed that we had mentioned. So I think it's something you feel. And maybe you clicked on this video because you know that there is something that has very recently been brought to your attention that you are actively seeking this clarity on with this video and other resources. The King of Wands. Because you are looking, I think you're not scared by it. I think I saw 4:44 on the timer. I think it seems right. It seems, it feels like a gift, definitely, to you to have it. It isn't something you're scared of, like your destiny approaching. I think you are ready to step into a calling and a purpose with the King of Wands showing up. So if you're feeling inspired at this time, feeling ready, feeling like things are kind of shifting and becoming more clear, then this feels right for you guys, pile 1. And on the other side of that, I did mention is some of you who may not quite know what it is yet, which we will be identifying today, likely if we're allowed to have that information specifically. But what you guys need to know, the ones who have no idea what this could be, this inner calling, desire, pathway, I think it is very, very soon being retrieved from within the cave. We have the 8 of Pentacles. Continue working on what is inspiring to you at this time, because it really could just be like a snowball effect. Like, you really never know what pathways can diverge from where you choose to go and what you choose to learn about even. Like, the tangents that can come from that could always give you inspiration. Like, this is the message. Continue with your responsibilities, your duties every day, your tasks, as well as what you have been working on, even if what's coming up for you now is making you feel like you should, now that I know this is what I'm supposed to do, I should stop all of these other things. I think the message would be to continue with what is already in progress and in the works, because again, just let them phase out when it is very obvious that they should be phased out, because you have not received everything you can from those situations yet, is what I'm seeing. Like, yes, with the idea of tangents coming off of it, you could meet someone helpful through it, you could learn something helpful to your next endeavor through continuing whatever you have going on, or it could give you a spark of inspiration. Inspiration will strike out of nowhere. If you haven't experienced that yet, then I think it is something you will find with this inner calling coming to the light and getting quite clear on it. The Queen of Cups, and I think it is something coming from your heart space. I think it is something that again, I said like maybe it feels appropriate when it comes to light. It's not something you're like afraid of or fear, because I think it is coming from your heart space, and you aren't, I don't see that you're like blocked off to receiving it or to accepting the truth of it for you. Some of you might have a little ways to go with that, but I don't think it's very far. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see that things are clearing out in terms of clarity. The High Priestess, and you, yes, this is something you are resonating with, as well as something that you are taking upon yourself to master. Again, it seems like you could be skilled in multiple areas at this time and be an expert in multiple areas. With the 8 of Pentacles we have show up, and the High Priestess is the knowing that this is separate from that, and this is something that I have tools within me to use toward it, as well as I have support systems going toward it that I don't have with these other earthly projects going on. This is your like destiny, your true calling, your ultimate pathway that you are being gently guided toward your whole life's course. Okay. And the Queen of Pentacles, and I see that where you were headed with that is somewhere great. We have the Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, King of Wands, major cards, the High Priestess, all representing who you are and who you are becoming through this answer to your calling. The Queen of Pentacles, we know her as being abundant, as being comfortable, as having gotten where she has because of steady progress, truly, and through managing it well and nurturing it well in her specific way. Queen of Pentacles is a great card to have as an outcome of who you are becoming. Let's see if there's anything else we can clear up with these initial energies before we dive into more of the messages. Yeah, I mean, this is the basics of it. So if you're resonating with this, stick around. We're going to continue straight forward with more messages regarding this inner calling. Okay, so I'm going to grab a different, and honestly, this one I need to pull out. I've been feeling it this whole time, and it's the Queen of Wands. So, yep, I was feeling her. She wanted to make an appearance as well among the other queens. The Queen of Swords is shy today, but that's okay. She might come out later. So we also have, these oracle that I'm going to pull. Let's use these to get ideas of like details, how you're feeling about this. Okay, let's think of it this way. Let's do how you are feeling about it. How is it showing up to you, like through your own perspective? What are you seeing with this? Okay, let's get a couple cards to identify that for pile 1, please. Perseverance. The Queen of Wands carries that message definitely, as well as the Knight of Swords that we had come through as well. Perseverance, I think that this is something that you would recognize as being a great calling, as something grand, as something that you would be willing to put all this practice you have with mastering different things, with working hard, and put that energy into this new thing that is coming up for you. I think that is also a message of like a very strong personality trait you have, is being someone who perseveres, very determined and strong-willed. I think that this is a message saying that like you showing up this way, you being this way, is part of the reason that this is known as an inner calling, because it is so fitting to what you bring to the table, the cards you were dealt, your zodiac, even like all of those things. And now we have these 2 final cards to represent you as this is approaching. We have the Service card and Gratitude. The Service card, I was speaking that the inner calling does feel like one that is resonating with your heart space. We have the Queen of Cups, who is representing that, which would be someone who is very giving, very gracious, very grateful in essence as well. Both of these describing the Queen of Cups to me. And speaking of the idea that this message is one that you feel in alignment with, I do think you could be someone who would be happy to live a life where what you were doing, what you were called to do, is in service of others in whatever way, in many, many ways that could be. From the most basic to what you would not quite define that way upon first glance until you understand the field more. I feel like I want to say that for some of you. I don't really have any specifics to provide, but anything where you are providing a service is what you feel fulfilled by. The gratitude by giving, by receiving the thanks and gratitude from the people or whatever it is, organizations you are helping, receiving the gratitude back from them is almost like a payment for your service in your eyes. Get your money, but also like you are so fulfilled by the way that people express their gratitude for what you do. Wow, okay. And I have to mention, this one is face up to me. I typically don't lay the deck down that way, but when I do, it's like I have to take the one that I look down and I see looking up at me. So we have the grief card, and this is really confirming to me that you could be in deep, honorable service to others with your inner calling, helping them, guiding them through tough things, being in service to others in a more crucial, like visceral sense, being with them through really challenging, hurtful situations and being a guiding force for people could be specific to you, or many other messages can be contained within this. So if you're getting something else from it, please take that as well. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and pull out tarot to expand on this. So can we get, that's the information we have for clearing up a lot about this. Can we please clarify maybe timeline for the confusion we have with? Some may identify it already. So we have the Queen of Cups who wanted to come through once again, and we have the Eight of Wands. Okay, timeline, quickly happening with the Knight of Swords confirming that as well. And I also see the movement and the travel on the Queen of Cups card, which you typically don't pick up on her card. Yeah, that is interesting that she is in movement. She has the boat. She is in travel as well. So I think that this is finding you shortly. This fulfilling way to serve others is finding you quickly here. It could be like triggered by something I felt like I want to say as I glanced at the grief card. It could be triggered or inspired by an event that you went through that was similar to what you would now be showing up for to help others through. And I think for some of you who do feel like this is something you have known all along and feels so right when it shows up, is because it's so directly tied to what you have experienced as well. Yes, with the Eight of Wands coming in quickly, the Queen of Cups, and confirming that it would be something of a vulnerable sense as you were helping people. And here's this one that wants to come. We have the Page of Swords. So I'm thinking of transitioning into like actually how this is going to come present itself to you. Like, how are you going to identify it? What is it going to be? And the Page of Swords is like the identification of an idea being presented to you or being downloaded, a thought, an inspiration, the idea of doing something else, and in the meantime, getting an inspiration out of nowhere for something else. This is what the Page of Swords tells us. So we want to know how is this idea going to come through to pile one? Or how is the option to pursue this calling going to present itself to them? The Page of Coins, with an opportunity for investing money in something, with an opportunity for taking some time off work for some of you and using that time to figure out what you want to do. Otherwise, people funding like an investment with you, seeing if you were to have an idea that is really in progress and you were to like be presenting it to someone to put it out there, I think that this would be an offering coming back to you to support bringing it to life. That is what I'm seeing whenever you get the idea, at least, is that offerings would be coming in to provide you with the support to be able to pursue it, whether it is not being tied up by other responsibilities, by having a free schedule, by, like I had mentioned, if you were not working or you're on a break from school, whatever it is, that would also be seen as a resource where this opportunity now can make its way in directly to you. So what else can pile 1 know about how this is going to come about? I mean, we know it's an inspiration strike. We know it would be supported. We know that you would recognize it as being in harmony with what you feel you're good at and meant to be here to do. But we'll see if there's anything else we want to know. We have the 6 of Cups. Yeah, I really do think that the 10 of Cups as well, wow. I really think this would be likely something that, again, you have experienced yourself or seen firsthand, and it's a community that you resonate with, a cause that you resonate with, something you want to invent because of its lack and the way that you have seen that affect your life and people around you. I think you are being innovative in this time to help a community you relate to, and the 10 of Cups, you're bringing a lot of goodness into that space, with the 10 of Cups being everyone is happy, everyone is feeling fulfilled together in harmony, and especially you are as well. Here's these 2 cards. We have the Knight of Coins. And the progression in getting more resources as this thing grows, like donations, I'm really thinking of as you touch the community and as it is advertised. The 2 of Cups, I was thinking about this card earlier in this section. The 2 of Cups, I want to say you could be connecting with someone who also you are inspired by to help a cause that they have experienced too, like being inspired by what other people very close to you have been through, that wanting to help them, and as like an ally, as an advocate, that is what your cause would be directly stemming from someone very close to you for some of you guys. But can we look at if there's any other aspect of what this is, the calling that pile 1 has, that is not related to what has come through so far? We have the 6 of Wands. Okay, I want to shuffle a few more to clarify that one. Other ideas for pile 1 for what their inner calling could be. We have the 7 of Cups. Okay, let's see. The Ace of Wands. And let's do one more. The 9 of Swords. Okay, so we had like the progression of Page to the Knight of Coins. Speaking of, as this thing picks up the progress, you get more resources coming in. We move on to a different idea for you, which the 6 of Wands really is making me think of fame, of being like a celebrity. I'm thinking of someone who like interviews celebrities specifically for some reason. Someone who is very close to stars, very literally, because I'm seeing someone very close to the birds in this 7 of Cups here, or the fish. And the 7 of Cups representing having a lot of option, a lot of choice, or being confused by, blinded by the outcome because you are picturing what it might be, kind of trying to see that in your head without considering the way it could actually play out being way different than you thought it would look like. That is what the 7 of Cups is giving. And all that to say that I see you amongst the stars. I see you in close-knit communities, working directly with people who have authority, with power, or even with like celebrities, working in a creative field, working directly with creatives among them, as one, as like a support, whatever it is, something like that, where you are in a high spotlight situation. 9 of Swords. Okay, we have, this could be like you pivot from this. I've been having this idea of like whenever people like use one project to, like, I guess kind of get their fame and get things rolling for them as they're launching a new, like, solo project. And the way that that project then goes is so much better because it is launched off of the success they had essentially from working with or under someone else. That is what I'm thinking of specifically with, like, famous people, writers, musicians, things like that. And so the idea I'm getting now is, like, you could be simply working amongst people of the position that you are being called to step into, like an intern working in a company, things like that. I'm thinking of, not to diminish this job, but like interviewing on a red carpet. You get inspired by doing this, by being surrounded by these people. You are there to move up. And so get a strike of inspiration. And I think that there is fear and hesitation with, am I meant to be amongst these people, like truly among them, not adjacent to them? And that is a worry I see coming through, but I won't say that is something you need to be worried about at this time, but that is another interesting message I'm getting of how this could be exposed to you. Okay, let's do just a few final tarot cards before we get our guidance for your inner calling here. Let's see if we can identify once more what and when is this going to appear. What is it going to look like and when is it going to show up? So what will it look like for you guys? The Page of Wands. And when will it show up? We have the Four of Coins. It looks very mystical. It looks very magical for you. It does look like a sprinkling of fairy dust got you here. Like, you do feel like it was a lucky strike to be able to land in this situation. Out of all the pathways you could have gone down, you kind of feel like this was very guided for you to get here. And the whole moment is quite magical when you arrive, when you get the strike of inspiration, and when you start planning for it as well. I think we see that the inspiration, the idea, the calling will come in and be clear very quickly. That aspect is fast moving, but then I think that is what we know about the time frame, because we have yet to catch up with it for when you were kind of getting the ball really rolling with it, which is what would be happening after this Four of Cups, after you kind of get things aligned, organized, regrouped, and ready to move forward. Okay, so let's pull your final guidance for your inner calling pile 1. We have 2 cards for you guys. All the other piles got 1 card, but you guys got the Inner Desires card, which I did see flip over. So it was intended for you guys, so congratulations, because so fitting to the reading, your inner calling, your inner desires. So I had to get you another card just because I felt like I had already seen this one. So this one I have not seen. Inner desires, we have set some intentions. You are entering a phase of plenty, or you may have a sudden windfall. Goals are within your grasp. Okay. And we have persistent drive with see what you desire and move toward that goal. It is time to zero in on your purpose. Use your intuition and instincts to guide you for the optimal outcome. Okay, guys, both of these cards are so fitting for your reading. We talked about your persistent drive. We talked about that. We talked about, of course, this is an inner desire and the goal not quite being moving yet. Very likely for you guys, pile 1, but true that it is within your grasp, which this card says specifically. This card as well is speaking of use your intuition and your instincts to zero in on your purpose. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't drop everything. Just use your senses, use your instincts in this time to identify the shifts, the changes in the air, to moving in flow. Do everything you would have done within your day, because you never know what might stem from those actions that you were mindlessly being called to do every day. Just follow your path, keep your head down, keep your focus, and be patient in this time. That is your guidance. This is on its way to you. Your inner calling is going to be understood and utilized very soon for you guys, pile number 1. I'm so happy to see it. I really hope you enjoyed these messages. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, as well as like the video and leave a comment with your pile if you feel called to. I love to connect with you guys in the comments, and I would love if you join the channel as it is growing right now. Take this opportunity to join us at the very beginning and be on the ride with us. So with all of that being said, I'm so happy you took the time to be here watching this message. I hope you have an amazing day, week, and rest of your year, and I will see you in your next reading. Hey Pile 2, welcome to your reading about your inner calling. So we have your energy check that we will get right into. This is going to be the oracle cards that will help you identify if this is the right pile containing your messages. It's okay if you don't have awareness of your inner calling at this time. We will address all scenarios with the reading. So our first oracle card, your archetype, is the offering. Wow, look at that. The yellow, the watercolor spreading from that card. We have peaceful with tranquility, higher self, peace, and evoke. Okay, thinking of you, how sweet, with number 55. Your inner calling, the offering, it really releasing your guilt and offering for peace, tranquility, guilt-free environment is an offering coming to you, thinking of you like a gift. How does this relate to your inner calling though? This just feels like a support that is being sent your way so far as messages I'm getting. So let me pull very quickly here some tarot to get clarity on this. What can we know about pile 2's inner calling? Help them identify if this is their message. The Hermit. Okay, let's pull a few more. So the Hermit energy is very secluded, isolated for a short while, for a time, to become a master, to understand his wisdoms. We have the Knight of Swords, the King of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, as well as, we'll stop here, we have the Two of Wands. Okay. You're offering to come out of, you've been in a phase perhaps as kind of where you are at now, where you have been in a phase of feeling guilty, of suffering from something that has happened. And this is almost like, the message here is like, kind of like, it feels like it's disrupting what my plan for this reading is. It feels like this is like urgent, like your spiritual team, your higher self coming through just to say like, whatever is going on, we're thinking of you. Release your guilt in this time. It really does feel like this fiery situation. Something maybe has happened quite recently that this initial message to help you identify is specific to recognizing that for you and saying from your spiritual team, we're thinking of you, we're offering you an apology, our warm regards, like something like that, and offering the Hermit, because you have been a little bit isolated. Maybe you've closed yourself off to communication recently from your spiritual team or from people in your life. And this is an opportunity to come knocking at your door quickly. Some people are trying to sweep in and catch you while you are available, and bring you offerings. Peace offerings as well, very closely tying in with that card. That is so interesting. People coming to your door and giving you offerings of peace, and you having the call of whether this will be accepted. Holding on to what you have, being a little bit wary around others at this time because of what's happened recently. And just now, I think, kind of opening up to exploring from the Hermit into the Two of Wands, who is getting ready to embark on a journey, who is planning, who is starting to make those small decisions and steps forward and making something happen and taking action. So I think that you are coming out of a space of feeling guilty, a space of needing isolation to heal, a space where you have not been in much communication. You've been kind of solo and trying to regain that peace and tranquility, trying to stabilize out. So final 2 messages to get this energy check for pile 2 I have right here. The 3 of Cups and the Queen of Swords. So likewise, that you are coming into a space of being able to have more enjoyment, of more fun, of more friendship and connection in your life. You are also, beside that, solidifying into... I almost think of the Hermit as being tied with the suit of swords in tarot sometimes. So I feel like the Hermit is elevating into the Queen of Swords. Like the Hermit, I would suspect, would have the same kind of like somewhat of the same wisdoms as the Queen of Swords, but the difference is the Queen of Swords is fully embodying that, is taking on the shape and the character that would be associated with having the last word, holding truth, holding wisdom, showing up in that space in your outer, presenting that way is a message here. If that is something you are starting to do, of setting more boundaries, of being more discerning with what comes into your life, with who comes into your life, and stepping into Queen of Swords, then this is where you are at. If you've been on the defense a little bit, and yeah, we'll have to jump into the message about your inner calling. Maybe this has been a more long-standing thing for you. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, if we're speaking of an inner calling, maybe this energy has been dragging out for a lot of your life, for some of you guys. And your calling has been to step out of a mindset. Like, it might not be a specific situation coming in for you that we would at least be able to identify today as like the one thing that caused you to change, to come out into this inner being, to answer to your inner calling. I don't know that there would be one specific event that would trigger that, but I do think that this could generally be a message of like coming out of your shell somewhat. Not really in terms of being like shy or anything, but just being closed off from some hurt, from some damage that has occurred, or a lack of trust with an offering that was once held to be true, that was failed, and now has affected other offerings that people try to honestly give to you. So guilt, and you've felt guilty about this situation. I think that this is something you have held onto a lot of guilt for a lot of your life, and now is really truly the lucky time. You will think of it as being so lucky once you were more distanced from the 2 versions of you that I see kind of splitting apart. I see you splitting into a different timeline. Maybe I should slow down and we'll get into the reading, but this is what's being clarified to me now. Like, this is a life's long thing. One of those transformations, one of those major shedding of your skin, truly, that you step out of, and when there's distance between you and that past version, is when you really truly see that the way that you split completely severed yourself entirely from that version of you. And something helpful is to release the idea that you indefinitely carry every single aspect of every version of you that has occurred along every point of the way. No, those are all separate from you. They are part of you. They deserve respect and honor, but you don't have to identify with that because you have changed, and you can put all that down. You can put down the hurt in the past. You can put down the feeling like you need to stick to a certain box or persona, whatever it is, you can put all of that down. Release all the guilt, especially. Okay, wow, guys. I'm glad that clarified through there. Now let's get into the bulk of the messages. So moving along, now that we've gotten pretty clear on this for you guys, stick around if you're resonating with that. Let's ask a few questions. I think let's dig into where is pile 2 coming from, so we can really get information about whether that is the strongest message truly coming through for you guys, or if there's something we have yet to identify. So where is pile 2 coming from? Impatience. Impartiality. Forgiveness. It's so interesting because I really, with both of these, I of course saw the I am, and like I am. And then I see the I directly in the middle of forgiveness. Something here about I am, like this is who I am. Like in the past, I am was something negative to think about. The things that would come to mind with that would be negative. Or they were kind of like numb and neutral with impartiality, like negative about yourself, frustrated with yourself about the cards you had been dealt, about your situation, about how you felt like you weren't equipped to be strong enough for it, and you weren't equipped to have a good life. How you felt is frustration, or how you felt is indifferent. You didn't care how things turned out. You didn't care that things weren't going better because it was acceptance. Out of self-defense, it was acceptance in that time. Forgiveness, and you're forgiving yourself if you feel like there's any guilt with like time wasted, anything like that. You're forgiving yourself for the way you treated yourself, the way you talked to yourself, all of that in that time. You have to forgive yourself because, again, with the idea of past versions of you not having to stick around forever, you being able to split and separate and truly grow and diverge off from those past versions of you. That doesn't have to be your story. You can honor it, remember it, and forgive it, but it is not still part of you if you don't want it to be. It is in the past for you. Wow. And there's one final card up top here, self-worth. Guys, this could not be more perfect. And you're moving to the self-worth, and you always were doing the best you could to have your self-worth and to believe in yourself. You always were doing the best you could. And if you felt negative or numb about yourself, that was not your fault. Self-worth, you're coming into self-worth. Soulmate, a lot of self-love coming in too with the soulmate card. Despondence. Interesting. And you also don't care anymore. You're also letting things go free. This is like, look at this spread. That is so perfect. The moment of self-worth is this moment, is the inner calling, definitely for you guys. The inner calling is you being able to diverge from the tough path. Yeah, there's this card on top for tarot that I want to pull. What is this one? The Knight of Cups. Soulmate, offering for self-love, offering for more love coming for you soon, as your true calling is to be in that frequency, that high frequency and vibration. We have the 10 of Cups. Yes, you were meant for a wholesome, fulfilling life, full of gratitude, abundance for you and your people. The Page of Cups. Look at this. All the cup energy, which is emotion, heart space, intuition, things like that. The Two of Swords and a choice to turn back from who you were or to move forward, to the splitting of the souls, the splitting of you. and almost like a moment, like a ceremonious moment where like the splitting occurs and you move along, is what I'm seeing with the Two of Swords. And the cups are speaking for themselves with how much harmony is. Your inner calling is to be able to experience life from a new lens to what you had experienced most of the time before. The Emperor, you're being awarded with this after many trials. The Nine of Wands. Yes, many, many trials. You have always pushed through this and always tried your best when things were tough with the Nine of Wands. But you're able now to put a lot of that down because it is not matching with your headspace anymore to have that many negative thoughts floating around. It is naturally like filtered out at this time with the Emperor, the way that the Emperor has checks before it gets to him. The Emperor, things filter through before they reach him, information, things like that. That is what you will experience. You will be protected from a lot of negativity at this time. Wow. Let's see what else we should get for information about what this is for pile 2. Their inner calling, can we get specifics on what else, how can they identify when this is getting close or when it is happening? Or yeah, let's start with that. How can they identify this when it's going to be happening? We have the Queen of Pentacles. When you're feeling safe, really, like when you're starting to feel safe and secure where you are, maybe you have adopted some kind of companion animal that really is contributing to the fact that you feel like in a more safe space. We have the puppy here as well. I think that could very well be true. A companion animal coming through for you could be like a character coming in from this future version of you as you split off. Like things like that are starting to make their way into your present as things are transforming and shifting over to the new version. I also have the Hierophant. Spiritual callings coming through. If you haven't felt that before or identified it, I think that you could be feeling some things stirring up within you that you haven't noticed before. And this could be also bringing you to a journey of learning. Rather than just living in this new experience, really learning about yourself in this time. I had the message of learning coming through with this as well. I think you could also be granted with a lot more peace, clarity, and focus in order to be able to put your energy into studying a specific area, which could then lead to another significant calling. Further down your pathway is embarking on a new career and study situation with newfound inspiration and focus from all the fog and negativity that has been lifted. 10 of Wands. Creativity is allowed to come through as well with the fog lifted, and you could be achieving a lot. Wow. 10 of Coins coming out directly after the 10 of Wands. And the Knight of Swords. Wow. 2 10s right after each other. The Queen, the Knight. I'd mentioned that this really could be a creative thing that you were learning or that you would be going to study to be able to be a part of your work or be a passion project for you, a hobby. And I see that it could be something very successful for you. Look at the way the dog from puppy to a full adult dog. So something moving steadily and not necessarily like a really quick thing happening. It would be more of a steady process. But then again, we do have the Knight of Swords, which is a moderate pace. So yeah, but the dog going from puppy to adult, being there with you across this journey, across growth of a new endeavor that I do think, again, I had mentioned would be later down the road in your inner calling. So that's why I'm seeing the kind of long energy coming through with that to come to fruition. So yeah, that covers things for timelines. This is something that would need to be adjusted to, and yeah, get practice with it before other major things start rolling with it. You need to get adjusted, to get accustomed to new life, as well as just enjoy your time in it with the Queen of Pentacles before you are called to do more inspiration or inner work and deep digging, things like that. Wow. Let's see if this is creative. What could it be, or what other things? The calling that will come down the line from them adjusting to showing up in a new dimension, essentially. What would the calling next from that look like? So we do have the Knight of Pentacles, so something that would be financially abundant for you guys. We have the Four of Swords. Something that can earn you money while you rest is a message that comes through a lot for this day and age. Definitely is possible in a lot of ways. The Nine of Cups, something fulfilling to you from your heart space, and the Three of Cups as well. Something you get to enjoy with others. The message of like dance specifically here, like doing something creative with a group, attending things you enjoy with a group, like really being into entertainment, like being someone who enjoys like watching and analyzing film, something like that, that again you're able to enjoy. You're discovering new things you enjoy, so there could be a lot that you could be led to in this time. So you might have like an inkling of something you would like to do but didn't feel like you had the energy at the time to be able to do it. That could be this thing for you. Otherwise, I think it is down your path a little bit more while you get adjusted to this all this newness coming into your space. Okay. Wow. Let's go ahead and finish out your messages. We have your guidance for today. Let's see what this one says. I have not looked at it yet. I pre-shuffled it out. Wow, we have amble with contentment, with waiting rather than acting is going to be most advantageous now. So yeah, it's going to be just a wait. It's going to be a wait for things to catch up to you as you are moving forward. You're going to be moving at a more rapid rate. And so things are going to take a little bit time to follow that up and meet you there. So just continue, amble with contentment, going slow, going steady, going with the flow at all times in this time. And these feelings, these new feelings are going to be coming in more frequently these days. If you are already feeling it, then it's going to be coming in full force very soon here. Or if you're not feeling it, this is a new beginning that will be on its way soon. That inspiration, that shift in mindset will be on its way soon, and the world is yours from there. And we will have to check in the future when these energies have integrated themselves into your life more, and then we can see where you're going next. Okay, so pile 2, with all of that being said, I hope you enjoyed your messages. Please hit the subscribe button if you did, as well as like the video and leave a comment with your pile if you feel called to. All of those ways are so helpful to growing a small channel, which we are at this point. So I would really appreciate all of that in advance. I would love to chat with you in the comment section, all of those things. Join us along for the ride. Lots of ideas, lots of other videos to check out if you have other burning questions. But pile 2, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in your next reading. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading on your inner calling. So let's jump into the energy check, which will be these oracle cards that I pre-shuffle that will help you determine if this is the right pile for you. If it doesn't feel right, go ahead and check out other videos in the reading or on my page before you click out entirely. But let's get into this. I was thinking about how this is like, if there's any message that anyone truly could benefit from hearing, we all have an inner calling, an inner desire, something that we are being drawn to on our path. So let's identify this for you, pile 3. Your archetype For your inner calling, the medallion. Remembrance, remembering, love, loss, and healing. And the balancing act. Wow. A fine balance between honor and respecting something versus making it your own, versus paving your own pathway while honoring the people who have helped pave that path along the way. Some balancing act. I'm thinking of the medallion being, of course, really I'm thinking of like a sports achievement, giving you a medallion, and I'm thinking of the way that we honor and remember very respected athletes or whatever field is being honored. You honor the people who were very impactful in contributing to the field, to the organization, to the sport as a whole across its life. So far, we honor those people as being one of like the founders, someone you attribute a lot of that growth and success to. So far, that's what I'm thinking of with all of this coming through. Princess, you can be your own knight, like you can be this in your own way. You can follow the wisdoms and skills that people before you have uncovered, but you can also use your own new, fresh perspective and skills to bring to the table and balance out all of them to achieve. And I'm just getting a strong visual of like really the Olympics, like some achievement in this way with which you would be crowned or given a medallion. It really could be anything that resonates with you guys, pile 3, through which you would be awarded for an achievement in the area, and through which there are other respectable people who have done what you have done and paved the way before you. Okay, so that is initial energies. I'm just going to pull out some tarot to... Okay, pile 3, we have your tarot to support those initial energies. There's 2 cards here. We have the 9 of Wands. Wow, a burden to follow. A burden to follow what other people have been doing before you, even though your thought behind it is different. It has been a burden to you to come this far with this on your back. You have a lot of eyes on you as well, could also be what you're feeling, and you could be feeling a need to like escape, retreat from it all. You could feel like also you have lost a lot from this as well, like you have put a lot of energy into it, and it feels like that outcome has not been authentic to you. It kind of feels like a loss of identity through this, through striving for achievement in this area. What is this speaking of for pile 3 that can help them identify? 7 of Wands. Knight of Cups. Something you were fighting for, and something is coming through to tell you to lay down your weapons, to lay down the fight. What is this that there is resistance to, that you have felt like pressure to do it a certain way, and it has worn you down and you are burnt out a lot because of that? What is it that is happening for pile 3? The Hermit. We have the Princess in her tower. We have the Hermit, who is often secluded away. We have the 8 of Cups, who is leaving a situation, and the message essentially of death with the card that has the words of loss and remembrance. It gives me an idea of transformation. And tying into what we had just mentioned, I think really this is like the pressure coming through to like retreat from it all. The Princess is secluded, the Hermit is secluded. You've been fighting too hard, and this is a call to more peace, I believe. We have the Hierophant. It is a calling for sure with the Hierophant coming through. A call to peace, definitely, is what he is speaking of. To lay the weapons down, once again, this is like your next instructions coming through for what to do next as you recover and regroup from the loss of something that was heavy for you guys. Here's your final card for energy check. And yes, something new coming, a new choice, new opportunities, feeling blind for a short while because you are in a new element, you're in a new environment with this thing gone. Okay, so pile 3, if those messages are fitting at all to your situation, then these are your messages. If it was not fitting to your situation, I would recommend checking out other piles within this reading or other readings on my channel to answer your questions, concerns, all of those things. So let's pull a couple oracle let's think about how to attack this reading. For pile 3, let's look at next. Where are they coming from? This is the same question we had for pile 2 at this point. Where are you coming from? And I think there really very well could be messages for you in pile 2 about specifics of what you might find yourself doing, or the specifics of this calling out of a, yes, definitely. I think pile 2 is strongly related to pile 3 if you felt any desire to check that out, or if you do now, you can find that timestamp. But here is this message for where are you coming from? Prayer. Like, it's like you've been praying for a solution, for a better situation, for peace, for relaxation. The prayer and perseverance came through in pile 2. Recovery. Prayer and recovery. Where you are coming from. And faith. Wow. This is you recovering again from something that was heavy. You having faith and prayer within this, and the Hierophant is like that faithful answer and that prayer that you feel the call to speak and communicate with the forces supporting you. The Hierophant is that coming through to remind you that that is a very helpful tool for you at this time to navigate these energies. Wow, faith. Your faith is almost like, I see a lot of exchange happening between spirit and you in this time with recovery and faith. I see you sending an, oh wow. I just see resources being shared between the two of you. Likewise, you giving and receiving between the two. You recovering answers, you recovering the key. And also physical recovery and relaxation, much needed. After persevering through something that wasn't fitting, it wasn't something that you were to give up. I think that this was ending because it was an appropriate time to slip out or to pivot, switch gears. I think that you really had been persevering through this and held true to the end with whatever it was that was disagreeing with you at this time. Okay. Let me pull some tarot to expand on what has come through now. So we have, they were very persistent, faithful, patient within this time, and they definitely had or need to take some time to recover physically from this once it is phased out. The 6 of Cups. And take some time to, like, I'm really thinking of someone who is very overworked in like the sports department, like that person who would do a sport every season, who would also do competitive on top of the school sports, like things like that. You're very, very overworked in that sense. And when it's time for you to take a break, it's like that much needed time to just do all those things you would do as a kid is the message I'm getting with the 6 of Cups, which can be about nostalgia, childhood memories, stuff like that. With this off your back, you're discovering what you can do with that free time, and you're relaxing a lot more and kind of like nesting into your body because your like physical activity routine specifically has changed. Okay, let's see. What else for pile number 3 to identify this situation? Can we get information about what they are leaving behind once again? And yes. Wow, I knew it would be one of these. I knew it would be one of these cards. We have the Seven of Swords, leaving behind resistance, leaving behind fighting, leaving behind cutting corners. If we're thinking about like something that you would be competing in to win an award, the energies we spoke of in your energy check with the fact that other people have paved the way before you, I see like feeling a pressure and feeling like now it has become necessary in the game, whatever the game means for you, competition in whatever sense, in work, whatever it may be that you resonate with. You felt pressured to succumb to the game that has been changed over time or that has become corrupted over time. It was definitely something that you felt you would have to be a little shady or not be true to your morals if you were to win in it and be successful in that. So you were coming from something not in alignment with how you would like to act and show up in life in conjunction with others, working with others. That is what you are laying that behind, laying it to rest for recovery, remembrance of that with the energy check with this card, laying that to rest. What other questions for pile 3 regarding this inner calling, and where are they being called to? Where are you at now? I want to know first. Let's do where are you being called to? The Four of Coins, the Four of Pentacles, as well as the Four of Wands. Very interesting. And the Nine of Swords. Where are you being called to? The Four of Cups is somewhat stagnant, but also, of course, stable. It is more rigid, I would say. It is having enough, but feeling like maybe you don't have enough because you aren't allowing yourself to use any of it. Having enough, but okay, so you're going somewhere. You're going somewhere where like the requirements are shocking to you, I would say. Like the idea I was just thinking of having enough but not feeling like it's enough. I think where you were going is somewhere where the requirement for how you show up and work is going to be way less demanding, way more relaxed and flexible, even with the aspect of being rigid that I just mentioned. I think that it is so rigid in that you know the expected, like, perhaps time frame for things, or you know the expectations and very clearly how that will fit into your schedule, and there's a lot of cushion for that as well. So that is why it feels quite flexible and relaxed. Whatever sense that would show up for you, like whatever responsibilities this thing would bring to you, will just feel like a lightened load compared to what you came from, where you really, really were having to push, fight, persevere, and go against your morals and values. This is also one where you would have more opportunities to be joyful around who you are immediately surrounded by, working with. This is a situation where you go from, it's complete opposite from coming from being in direct opposition from who you work with. Whatever it could be, like, all I can think of is sports, but if there's like a sales team where you're all trying to make commission, like whatever type of energy, environment, career, whatever it could be that you are coming from that pit you against other people. And now it's shocking once again to come to a space where it is your true calling and that it is so harmonious with you, because there is no resistance to other people, there is connection instead. The Four of Wands is about celebration, and I'm seeing specifically opportunities to have fun and celebrate and actually be friends with these people. Rather than just tolerating, I see like actual like friendships coming through from this. The Nine of Swords. For what where are you going? What are you stepping into? With the Nine of Swords, that's interesting. I'm thinking of you're stepping into like a dream. You're stepping into a space where you are kind of in limbo, and that you need to still dismiss some negative thoughts, some negative self-talk, some habits that came along with your past into the new space. You're having to kind of filter those out a little bit at this time in the stage of transitioning from one to the other. It is exactly that. It is a period where both phases are meshed together and carrying some of their elements amongst each other before it completely tips the scales into the new, better side that you were headed. So that is what I'm seeing here, that phase of transition. Okay, pile number 3. Let's see what else we should answer for you guys. Inner calling, though. Why is it an inner calling? This whole shift that is happening by your choice, by your recognition. Why is it an inner calling? Your inner calling to make a choice for yourself, to stand up for yourself. Your inner calling for a moment of strong recognition, of brave recognition of something that was no longer fitting for you. In general, could be a pivotal moment as an inner calling for you to be able to be this person who would take care of yourself in this way. It could be deeply significant for other reasons, in which I doubt will come through today, but things in your past, how things have played out, your typical story. This shift could be how you were breaking that story, and I'm going to keep hounding on it because that is essentially the theme of pile 2, is your calling was to shift into a new story entirely. So that, I believe, will really get into the details for you. Check that out, please, if you felt. I just want you to get that information truly, honestly, pile 3. So, okay. Yeah, so your inner calling in itself being this moment to pivot and to define this moment in history for yourself. This turning point is the inner calling, and which will snowball and affect other areas of your life down the road, which is why it would be coming to a big pivotal calling moment for you guys. But let's look at what is the inner calling specifically, please, for pile 3. Inner calling specifically, we have the Ace of Cups. Okay. 6 of Wands. The Moon, guys. This is so clear. And the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. The first message I got was the Ace of Cups, and it makes me think that this is a gift for you. Your inner calling is to put yourself first, to put yourself on a pedestal with the 6 of Wands. The way the 6 of Wands is seen, recognized. We have a moment in your energy check of the Remembrance card with ideas of loss, of a ceremony regarding a loss, pivoting to a ceremony regarding what you have achieved. You were meant to be honored in this time, and you were meant to be honored for the things within you that make you you. Like, this is honor that is supposed to come to you. Your inner calling is this win for yourself, this moment where you chose yourself and put yourself first, with self-love as a big message with Ace of Cups as well. The Moon is honoring who you would truly wish to be. I feel like wherever it is that you show up next, and I see you showing up somewhere where you feel comfortable to stay there a while and to plant some roots, with us landing at the 10 of Pentacles, which is the achievement that comes after a long journey of trial and error in career, project, study, finances. 10 of Pentacles is that big win that will be inherited down generations. So wherever you find yourself, achieving in and you're rolling with this new idea, with this new life, I feel like it is just, you are unrecognizable in this time because it is who you are. Before, it was all a bluff. It was all you trying to please the people you were with because it was so in opposition of who you are. The Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is going to be telling the truth now, and the Knight of Swords is going to be a lot more clear on who he is and what he wants and will be moving toward it. I see people moving and gravitating toward you as well as you show up in this new energy. But I need more information for pile 3. Can we please find out about, let's look at, I'm going to grab my other deck. I want to see about like timeline. Can we see when this is happening? Oh my goodness. We have the 5 of Swords. It's happening at your discretion when you get fed up with the competition, with the opposition, with all of it. The 2 of Pentacles, and you start to consider something better for yourself, dabbling in that with the 2 of Pentacles. And the Moon comes out once again. The Moon is when you get that lucky strike landing on your inner voice speaking to you. The Moon is your inner world, your true desires and intentions. First, recognizing what is bad. Second, trying to gear up to remove that. And third, after making both of those steps and decisions is when you are essentially rewarded with the connection deeper than it has ever been to your inner being and your true desires and intentions. Wow, and your inner calling is to show up this way. This is the 9 of Pentacles, is luxurious, gorgeous, wealthy, the way they show up in the tarot deck. And that is what you need to show up as. Not this grimy man's with all the swords from your past energies, but no, you are the gloved one in your abundant garden with your things, all the things you have earned and that you get to enjoy just for yourself. Wow. Your inner calling is to show up as you are authentically. What does being authentic mean for you guys? What may we see come through with pile 3 while they are more authentic? How can they recognize when they are making this shift and stepping out of the negativity and fully into the newness? We have Facade. Facade, it's like almost like people would start blaming you for having been fake all that time before, or people would tell you that what you're doing now is just a phase. Trickery. And I was like, really? That's how you get to find out if you're in the right place, when people start talking shit? Like, that's not cool. But trickery, I don't know, it's really all just like, it really should just roll off your back. That's really what I'm seeing come through here. It's all just a little test, a trick to see, not like, I don't want to paint it that way, that everything is like a test, but stand true in yourself if any of these situations arise. Abundance, because you are abundant and all of that will be dissipating quite soon here. Like the snow in this image will melt, like the fog will clear, it will all dissipate. This is, wow, wow. So you will know, you will honestly know when you are showing up this energy, when people recognize it. And then as well, when you start to see even the physical signs of abundance. We had 9 of Pentacles, and then we have the actual abundance card with the golden treasure chest. And it is something you have kept away for yourself because it is your earnings, like I had mentioned with 9 of Pentacles, and all of that other noise and static will be dissipating for you here. Wow. So I hope that these messages were helpful for you. The reading is not over yet though. We do still have your guidance card, which I pre-shuffled. I have not seen it yet. So let us reveal that one. Your card is resilience, but there is no need to rush or push. This is a time to take things as they come. You have the determination and patience to handle what is happening. You are being called to resilience. I'm sure you have already adopted a lot of resilience in your life with what has come through for your energies. Pile 2's guidance spoke of not rushing, going slow, using your intuition and determination, patience to see what is happening around you and to go with it. Please, answering your calling, continue with that resilience. Like I said, you persevere through the end of phasing out whatever it is that you want out of your life. It seems like you would follow that through and honor that because it was something you had committed to. And an idea could be that this is meant for you to gain everything from that situation that you can, rather than if you had removed yourself from it prematurely. So follow through with what you have going on. Listen to yourself, your heart, your intuition, and take things at the appropriate rate for you, not rushing too fast, and wait for the birds to start chirping and telling you you have changed, and you say, I know, and it's in a good way, right? And then you stop them there, okay? That is your advice and guidance. Pile 3, I hope you enjoyed your messages. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, as well as like and comment on the video with your pile if you feel called to. I'd love to connect with you guys in the comment section, but really subscribe so that you can be here for the journey, because we are growing at this point. You want to join now, hop on the train now before it really takes off, okay? That is my little secret to you guys, pile 3, so please take my advice. I am so happy. Thank you for letting me do this reading for you guys and channel your messages. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in your next reading.